It's very amazing when we did the rice cycle at South River. KI guys went out and did the whole cycle. Did you see on YouTube the videos? YouTube.com/South River Miso, right? And you'll see KI guys, some of whom you may know, participating in the cycle of rice from planting to harvest. And the rice cycle is one of the most beautiful examples of the 5 transformations. So what do you think? Planting rice. Who? She did, yeah, she did. Okay, no, ours is better. So, do you know how rice is germinated?
It varies.
Generally. Germinated inside, in little beds. And the rice starts to appear as what? Green shoots, right? Okay. What energy is this? And when is this done? Spring energy, green energy, right? And ancient times they named this tree energy. Going up. Tree energy. Then the rice reaches a certain height. And once it reaches a certain height, it's ready for what?
Planting.
Not harvest. It's ready to take outside and put in a bed of water, which is called the rice paddy. So that ceremony of transplanting the rice is a very special ceremony. Okay? So, tree, right? And the stage before that, by the way, is water, which is nourishing tree. Okay? Now, who do you think, if you look at the videos from South River, there were guys and ladies out there from KI. And it was so apparent which of the 2 groups do you think completely took charge of the planting operation? The ladies, female. So like Alex, Jack, and I were out there, we were quickly brushed aside. So we wound up just sitting and watching the whole time, or taking pictures, right? The ladies were in there rolling up there, right? The jeans, right? Getting in there and planting, right? Amazing, right? It's beautiful to see, like, almost like we had one girl, 6 foot tall, blonde girl from northern England, right? In there planting rice. That went out all over the world. People from Japan were saying, this is amazing. We've never seen anything as wild and crazy as this, right? Right? So why the ladies in the group took charge? We were marginalized very quickly. Because what kind of energy is that planting? Earth force, right? Coming from the Earth's rising energy, right? Which is more female. So they call vernal equinox, right? Female equinox, isn't it? Spring equinox, right? Okay. Then that rice continues growing. By the way, let me ask you this. Why the rice paddy? Why is it transplanted into water? And this goes back thousands of years when they figured this out according to the 5 transformations. What's the reason for the rice paddy? It's not necessary. Rice will grow also in dry land, as we've proven. But yes, please. Vietnam has very many rice paddies. That will happen if you just water the soil too, right? This is 2 reasons. One is they flood the rice paddy in the field, and any weeds that are living there before the water comes in, what happens? They drown. All competition is taken away. So that the rice, when it's transplanted, is already above the water level and then can grow without any interference. That's one reason. Isn't that brilliant? Brilliant, right? Second reason, rice needs warmth. So during the day you've got sun, right? Isn't it? No problem. Sun goes down, cold comes. What is the function of the rice paddy under that condition? Water does what? Holds heat more, right? Keeps the rice warm like a blanket. Isn't that beyond genius, that system? Amazing, right? Huh? Yeah, totally in accord with this rhythm. That's why this technique of rice farming has been totally sustainable for at least 5,000 or 6,000 years in the same area. Think about that. That's a system of agriculture that can be continuing, has continued at least 5,000 or 6,000 years without interruption to the present. That's what you call sustainability, right? Do you agree? How about modern agriculture, like spraying, bringing cattle? How sustainable do you think that is? Fertilizing? Not sustainable. It'll be lucky to continue like another 50 years before it collapses. Because it depletes, it's not sustainable, it doesn't renew. Don't you agree? Okay. And why is this sustainable? Why? Because it goes totally in harmony with what?
Transformation.
The movement of the earth within the universe, right? Which is perpetual almost, practically, right? From our standpoint. Almost eternal, right? Okay. So as long as the earth can support life, that kind of system can function. Just like weeds are growing, plants are growing anyway, right? Isn't it? Without even our interfering with those. All right. So what happens? The rice grows what during summer? More and more sun, becomes more and more what? Full, right? Starts to change color from green toward brown. Heads appear, right? And seeds start to appear. The fruit and seed both is the rice grains, right? So once this peak is reached, by the way, what kind of energy is at this peak of summer? Maximum energy, right? Maximum brightness. That was called fire. Okay. Once that peak is reached, rice is at its peak, what comes next? Energy now goes in what direction? Not yet. You must be hungry. Harvest, harvest. Mm. Yeah.
Yellow.
First of all, the energy changes direction. And you have like more smaller yin starting, but yang is still there, kind of in between, right? And markedly, energy moves in the opposite direction, downward. Opposite. And that is traditionally that period called late summer. Kind of both energies are there, right? But still, what's happening, days are becoming shorter, isn't it? Temperatures are becoming cooler. The plant world is no longer lush green, but now drying out, isn't it? Okay. How do we behave at this stage? We start to do what? thinking more of what? Summer, we're very, what's the word that describes summer behavior? Carefree, right? Isn't it? Summer would be like listening to which rock and roll group? The Beach Boys, right? The late summer toward fall is which group? More like Eleanor Rigby, right? The Beatles, more serious, right? Isn't it? Okay. Yeah. Right? Okay. Amazing, right? Even that can be classified 5 energies. So more serious comes, right? So more like back to school, isn't it? Farmers get much more serious. Squirrels get much more serious. What are squirrels busy doing? Right? The animals are preparing. And householders are stockpiling firewood, right? Isn't it? Making sure everything is winterized. Okay? Don't you think so? And rather than this upward carefree, more downward and serious, right? So kids are serious now, right? Students are serious now, isn't it? School. Okay? Okay? By the way, spring, which is tree and fire, summer, right? What's the major sports activity? For example, United States and Japan. Baseball is a very yin sport. Spring, summer, right? So the name for baseball players is the boys of summer, right? Isn't it? And what energy counteracts baseball? Water, rain. Isn't it? Baseball is cancel, isn't it? Completely opposite from fire, right? Also, baseball has no time limit, right? It can go on forever, slowly, right? Played in a grass field, right? By the way, baseball has 9 positions, very intuitively 9-star key. Very amazing, right? Yeah, okay. So I once wrote an article, Baseball Feng Shui. Yeah, you can read it in my book, Contemporary Macrobiotics. Okay. All right. How about in the fall? What kind of sports start? Late summer, fall. Football, very young compared to baseball, right? So football is played out against a rigid clock, right? Isn't it? That's very young. And very young contact goes on. Brute force is used, right? Isn't it? So the football training season is the late summer. So did you know that when we had the summer conference, KI summer conference, it used to be at Bryant College in Rhode Island in August. Did you go? Anybody ever go to that one? In the 90s. That was the college campus used by the New England Patriots football team for their training camp before they went to their NFL season. So we would be there giving lectures, and these giant guys are walking around and driving SUVs, right? The entire New England Patriots were there during sharing the campus with the KI, right? It was beyond funny, right? Beyond funny. Is that right? From our influence, probably, right?
So maybe sharing the campus was a good thing.
Osmosis, right? And some of us started lifting weights after that too, right? Ed and Alex started lifting weights, right? Training, right? Right? Late summer, okay? Here the colors are green, more brownish, right, as you progress, right? Here, what colors start to appear? Late summer, as this continues into autumn. Gold, yellow, good. Red, orange. Much more yang colors appear. Fall is the peak of this contraction. Energy is very much gathering force. By the way, this late summer was named soil, and autumn gathering was named metal. Okay? So let's summarize the names again. Spring tree means upward. Please write upward. Summer fire means active, expansive. Late summer soil means downward. Okay? Contracted. Autumn metal means gathering, focusing, condensing, like metal itself. Okay? So what happens in the fall? That peak of expansion comes, and what happens? Farmers do what? Harvest. Now you can eat, right? And because of harvest, what comes following harvest? Festival. First is festival, right? The Thanksgiving. And Japan, Asia, you have many, right? Harvest festivals, right? Each village practically has a different one in Asia, right? And, right? The rice is now harvested. So the rice, which in spring was this, right? Green shoots, right? Maturing and going up. Now come fall, what happens to the rice paddy? The water is what? Drained off. Okay? Dry, becomes dry. So the energy is still this, right? Yin. Then if you look at the videos from South River, you'll see KI guys coming through, moving through the rice paddy, carrying what implement? Metal, like a small curved knife, right? And doing what? Yeah? And then doing what? Gathering the rice, right? Bundling it. Do you know what they do next? Turn it upside down, tie it, and hang it upside down. A complete yin-yang reversal goes, right? From yin to yang. Energy now comes down into the head, right? Everything drops down this way, and it dries out even more. So you'll see a different crew from the KI out there during harvest. And who do you think, ladies and gentlemen, who is now taking more initiative here, do you think? The guys, just by division, natural division of labor. So you'll see Alex out there cutting, I'm even out there making a photo op appearance, right? Be sure this goes on the cover. Right? You'll see the guys bundling the rice. Okay? Isn't that amazing? So yang, right? Heaven's force. This is Earth's force, planting. Harvest is the heaven's force, right? Beautiful rhythm goes, right? Isn't it? Then, once this reaches a peak, what comes next? This is like heartbeat, right? Beginning expansion, peak expansion. Beginning contraction, peak contraction, and then what? Like dormancy, pausing, right? Winter. Winter. And this was called water because it describes a kind of floating energy. When energy down, right? And now starts to float up and down, horizontally, right? Like waves. Before it starts to evaporate up again. So what do? We do what during that time frame? Guys retreat into the man cave, right? Watch football all the time, right? Isn't it?
A lot of inner reflection, celebrations of lighting the inner light.
Okay. And so, for example, nature, what's going on? Berkshire Mountains become what at that time, for example?
Covered in snow.
Yeah, some days, right? Nice, right? Melting is going on. Other days, frozen solid. Some days, the dry, sunny. Other days, boom, 7 to 10, 12 inches, 3 feet of snow wind up coming down, right? So for me, in the morning, I have to wake up, car is covered with snow. So before driving in from Pittsfield to meet with you, your very poor teacher has to struggle with like brushing off snow. How many more years do I have to do this? And then even driving in is very tricky. Oh, you can't use the mountain road. Isn't it? Because it's dangerous, right? I have to take Route 8. Isn't it? Okay. Where they plowed. Okay. So winter time. Winter is the time of dormancy, right? Okay. Hibernation. So like the beaver pond. Have you guys all gone to the beaver pond?
No.
Please go. Ginny, please lead a trek, right? Carrying rice balls. And Berkshire Mountain cookies. So that beaver pond is incredibly beautiful now, because it's like a mirror, placid, still mirror, right? Reflecting the color. But if you go there in January, solid. Solid. You can walk out across it. In fact, the local people in this area, you know what they do in the winter on lakes? They drive trucks out on the lakes. They cut holes in the ice and they fish. Yeah, it's a ritual. I've never done it, but they do it. Yeah. Maybe we should all do it this winter. What do you think? Let's try it. What kind of sports are in full swing during that season? Ice hockey, right? The most yang. And basketball too, which is very yang. Up and down, right? Right? On a wooden thing. There's no grass.
And ice skating.
And ice. So like solid wood and ice, right? Medium for the sport compared to grass. Okay? And also strictly indoor, those sports, right? Mostly, right? Indoor sports rather than outdoor sports, right? Yeah, skiing, sure. But also very young, right? Yeah. Using heaven's force, right, to go down on the side of a mountain, right? Isn't it? Okay.